What's up, heroes? Bionics here at Train Like Heroes for day 2 of the 12 exercises of Christmas. Today we're covering front squats. What we're looking at is proper range of motion. So I will show you a couple things with foam rolling techniques to increase your range of motion. The main mobility is usually in your hips, your ankles, and your shoulders to get into the position, and proper core engagement. So range of motion, you have your regular squat where a lot of people are toes forward, knees forward. You should really only get to maybe 90 or more. If you actually just open up the hips a little bit, you're increasing a better base of support. You're gonna be a lot more stable, and it's taking a lot of the pressure off the knees. As long as you're keeping the alignment proper, your knees are gonna still follow your toes. You're coming down, and you can get a lot lower and feel stable. Noticing how when I come down, if my toes are facing forward, the butt turns in, where when I open up a little bit, the butt doesn't turn in, and I'm a lot more stable. So mobility, a lot of times it's the ankle mobility. So taking this guy, rolling out the calves, so you have the meaty part of the calf there, kind of rolling along the muscle. Take your time with it. Spend more time on the tender areas because that just means there's more scar tissue and you have to break it up. Once you're done the meaty area there, so that was really quick, you should spend a little more time than that. Then you work down to the Achilles area, which is usually very tight. And same thing, you want to put as much pressure as you can on that spot and just keep rolling it out. And that will help with your dorsiflexion, which allows you to get deeper in that squat. Your hips and your glutes are also a big factor as well, also very tight on most people. So we have first one, you're gonna find your hip bone, you're gonna go 2 fingers below the hip bone. I usually lift my leg, I can feel the hip flexor kind of pop up. I'm gonna place the ball right on that muscle. I'm gonna roll over, and you're literally just gonna kind of relax on that muscle. It's gonna release the hip flexor and the quad because it ties in there. You'll sit there for about 2 to 4 minutes, switch to the other side. Then we have a glute one as well. So finding the same landmark, you wanna find that hip bone. I follow my thumb around that little dimple in the back, or the very top part of your glute is where you're gonna place the ball. And so you'll take your time to get into this position. You might have to start with your legs up first, and then eventually bringing both legs down as that muscle starts to release. Once you feel it's not so intense, you're gonna keep the pressure on the ball. Slowly bring that knee in. Exhale. And nice slow release, keeping the pressure on the ball. You'll do about 8 to 10 passes like that. That's again releasing the hip flexor. Now we're going to do the glute one. So we're 90 degrees at the leg, hand on the inside, the ball staying in the same spot, I'm not moving it. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, just drop the leg, and you want to give it a little bit of a push just to help it a little bit there. Bring it back up. When you're ready, nice deep breath. Exhale. And you should be able to get a little further every time. You want to hit some more areas of the glute. When you release, you can actually drop the leg all the way down and bring it back up for a few also passes there. So that is covering the lower body mobility, how to increase it with this little guy right here. Shoulders is also a really big one. In that front squat position, a lot of people have a hard time with, myself included. So what we'll do is usually it's the chest, shoulders, or lats. So to release the lats, I'm going to tuck this guy right in the armpit. I'm just going to sit back, totally relax my upper body, letting the band kind of do the work. And I'm just going to gently rotate, keeping that tension on. Deep breath in, and then exhale as you pass through, twisting to the other side. And you should feel that all down the lats. Again, you want to do about 8 to 10 passes with that one. So wrapping around my wrist, this is for the shoulders. You're gonna, again, just kind of use gravity, gently pull, but let the arm relax. And I'm gonna turn away from it, nice and tall, opening up the chest. So this is really stretching out the chest. And you can get some of the shoulder and the arm in there too. Nice little rotation. Back and forth. You'll feel that in different areas. And just nice deep breaths through. And again, a few passes. Feel it out. Last one is actually on the wall. You're gonna put this just inside the armpit on the pec, and you wanna push into the wall, slowly increase the range of motion. You're gonna slide the arm all the way up and down the wall, keeping the pressure on the ball. Notice the first couple passes, you might not get a full extension because it's really tight, but as you keep rolling through, it will eventually increase. So now that the mobility is taken care of, proper core engagement is very important with a lot of lifts, especially something like the front squat. If your core isn't engaged properly, you are compromising your spine, which is dangerous. You only have one of them. You don't want to have to fix that. Ugly for real. Yes, good. Okay. So proper core engagement. I do a couple different things with clients to make sure they're engaging their core properly. One of the easiest things you can do is laying on the ground, feet bent, is notice the gap here. All you want to do is get rid of that gap. So pushing the back into the floor, and you should feel this tighten up. Once you get comfortable doing that, I can actually talk and keep it engaged the whole time. There's no gap here. Slightly moving the legs into a reverse crunch here. So this is a good exercise to get that proper core engagement and to strengthen the core. You breathe through. Up, sometimes I reset here, keeping that push down the whole time. There's no gap the whole time. It might take some time to get to that point where you can talk and still keep the core engaged, but you want to make sure that that is strong before you get into heavier lifts of a front squat. So I'm going to show you what a proper front squat should look like. Again, my shoulder mobility isn't the greatest. I'm working on that. It could be improved, so don't judge me on that one. But my range of motion and core engagement is definitely good. So, locking that up. Elbows are up as high as I can get them. Opening up my stance slightly. Sitting back. Exhale up. Keeping that core engaged. Nice range of motion. And there you go, is a front squat. So that is day 2 of your 12 exercises of Christmas at Train Like Heroes here with Bionics. Don't forget to train hard and train like a hero.